Alright, what's up everyone? Got some Play Pokemon content today, looking at my battles from the League Challenge event that we had locally here yesterday. Was able to go 4-0 and sweep the tournament, so very happy with how that went and had a lot of fun just connecting with other local trainers as well. Brought an interesting team that I didn't know how it was going to go. Don't have a flyer or a grass type on the team, but wanted to try some Pokemon out like Charjabug and Clefable that got some play and did well in the Toronto regional. So if you're interested in doing these kind of league challenge events or planning for a regional event and just wanting to see some Show 6 Pick 3 battles, wanted to showcase some of the battles. So we're going to jump into round one here against my first opponent. I'm leaving the names off just to focus on the battles themselves. So I lead my Lickitung into their AWAC, and it's a Hex AWAC. So this is before, open team sheets. They're not doing that yet. Don't know what move sets they're going to be running. But it's a good lead. Licky into AWAC, and they swap to a Venusaur and catch a move. So I'm going to bring in my Charjabug here. I can take a Sludge Bomb and start throwing X Scissors. My team's kind of weak to Venusaur, honestly. Like, they can hit Dugong with super effective Frenzy Plants. It's got a good matchup versus Clefable because I'm not running Psychic. I don't have Psychic on my Medicham either. Obviously, it's going to beat Lantern and can hit with neutral Sludge Bombs on Charjabug. And does well against Lickitung as well. So Venusaur is kind of tough for me. And I was like, man, is this Shadow Mewtwo, Shadow Metagross Spice Lure going to beat me in this first round, right? And he's got a G-Fisk in the back for my Clefable. So what is good for me is that I've got 2 shields and they've got none. So I basically just got to stay in here and double shield my Lickitung and throw some Power Whips. And yeah, my Clefable's not going to do me a whole lot of good against a G-Fisk and an AWAC, so I really need my Lickitung to carry. Now, this person I was playing, this is their first time competing in an event like this, and so they weren't as experienced and didn't have, a very bulky kind of meta team. And so, yeah, they're bringing some spice. They're bringing some Pokemon that are interesting, a little atypical and stuff like that. That's going to be normal at these kind of local events. You're going to have people who have never played PvP before or who are new to it, and so they're bringing interesting, spicy picks. But if you didn't prepare for those things, sometimes they can core break you. And anyway, yeah, if this person got good alignment against me, they could have definitely just like rocked me with Shadow Metagross on my Clefable or something like that. So. Again, they bring the Venusaur. So I had a good lead, Lantern into the AWAC. They bring the Venusaur. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to double shield my Dugong and Ice Shard the thing down. They were going for Sludge Bombs for some reason instead of the Frenzy Plant. So they might not have had the Community Day move. Maybe they have like Sludge Bomb Solar Beam or something like that. But because of that, I was able to Ice Shard them down. And then I have my Dugong for this AWAC to throw super effective drill runs at it. They're just throwing bone clubs at me, and so if I die to this one, then I can bring my Lantern back in and start water gunning the thing down, and then just gonna see what's in the back, but should be in a good position no matter what it is. And it's the Mewtwo. So Shadow Mewtwo is going to get one shot by this Thunderbolt. Shadow Mewtwo dies to pretty much anything. It's pretty tough Pokemon to run. Okay, so into round 2 now, and actually my recording didn't work for the second battle here, and so I don't even remember their full team, but they're running Noctowl, Lurantis, and it's going to be a Jellicent in the back. And so I bring in my Charjabug for the Lurantis after winning the lead with my Lantern on their Noctowl, and I'm going to go for double X Scissors here. I believe they shield the first one, let the second one go, and it's going to knock out. Lurantis is pretty glassy, so... what's great about this is now if Noctowl comes back in, right, I can get a discharge off as well. My Charjabug just had a ton of play for this versus their whole team, and so I just remember thinking as long as I bring Charjabug, I'll probably be good to go here, right? And so I went double electric with Lantern Charjabug, and don't have to shield the Sky Attack. It's gonna barely do anything, and I can just go for double Thunderbolts at this point, and don't even need to bring in my Clefable here. Or if they let the Thunderbolt go, I can start going for Surfs. But yeah, this is going to be a GG. This is a quick one. This was also someone's first tournament they had ever played. And so, they did well, but I was able to get a victory here and in the next battle as well. So, yeah, we're moving on to round three now. All right, so we got an interesting team from this opponent. They were bringing a little bit more meta with Shadow Aeslash and Gligar, but also had some spice picks with Emolga and Araquanid. And so I can't remember what their sixth Pokemon was. They never brought it, but I lost the lead Charger Bug into Gligar, and I bring in my Clefable as a safe swap, and Clefable with 2 Fairy Wind advantage can win the one shield versus a Sandslash. So we actually are able to get their second shield here. So we take shield advantage, and I go for the farm down with Charger Bug here. I'm just going to take a Drill Run or Ice Punch, whatever it is, take the damage, and save my shields for Dugong. So I'm going to shield up this move from the Gligar, and then start Ice Sharding down. I don't want to get hit with anything, so I want to preserve as much health as I can on the Dugong. So I throw the Icy Wind, knock the thing out. The Aeslash is just about dead, and then they bring in their Quagsire here. So I'm going to be able to get off an Icy Wind before a Stone Edge. Stone Edge gonna just about knock me out, but after the debuff, I think I live it, and then I can swap to my Charger Bug, throw an X Scissor to knock out, and then I believe one more Volt Switch will KO their Alolan Sandslash. Oh, 2 more Volt Switches. So, well played to them. I brought Medicham in the lead this time because they have 3 answers for it, right? Araquanid, Emolga, and Gligar. And so they're probably thinking there's no way I bring my Medicham, which made me go, let's lead the Medicham. And made a good call there. Bringing Medicham into Shadow Alolan Sandslash is always an awesome feeling. And so they swap to an Emolga, and I bring in my Charger Bug. Acrobatics did quite a lot, but I'm able to just shield once, farm the thing down, and have some energy coming back into the Sandslash. So I'm able to get off 1 discharge, and I think they just let it go. Yeah, and then they Powder Snow me down, and I can bring my Medicham back in. And it's a Gligar. So we've got the Water Gun Lantern here as a Gligar answer, but they are up a shield. So I'm going to safely shield the first move, thinking they're likely not going to bait the very first one. And so made a correct call there. Shield 1 dig, and then I'm going to take the second dig, and it doesn't KO. It's not a Shadow Gligar, so I live this. I'm in the yellow. I can get the next shield here with my Surf, and then they are going to make it to another dig, but they're so low at this point where my Medicham can come back in and counter the thing down. And then by the time their Aeslash comes in, I can a little bit of an overkill, but Dynamic Punch the thing. All right, so round 3 was a little bit tougher. They were a good player. They had some good picks on their team, but was able to get a 2-0 in that round as well. And so moving into round 4, this was definitely the toughest. I actually lose this first battle. I have my Medicham on their Lantern, and Medicham does pretty well against their whole team, right? Even Mandibuzz with Ice Punch and Counter, you can do well versus Carbink. I've got Dynamic Punch and Counter, doing neutral damage, so Medicham was a pretty safe pick for me. Their Medicham was actually really the worst thing that it could see because I believe they're running Psychic on their Medicham. So we land the Dynamic Punch on Carbink and bring in my Lantern, and just going to start farming and building energy. I'm going to take a Moonblast and just overfarm quite a bit so that I can throw a Surf and then have a good amount of energy for whatever comes back in, right? If we see the Lantern come back in, we can go for a Surf to try to knock it out with the little bit of health that it has left. And so there it is. And I believe this Surf plus like 1 or 2 Water Guns will knock out. Okay, and then their Medi comes back in. Now, I thought I'm in a pretty good position here. I got my Clefable right, but I no-shield the first move. I don't know their move set yet, right? I didn't know if they were running Psychic, Dynamic Punch, Power Up Punch, and I no-shield the Psychic, and now I'm low enough to where they can just go for Ice Punches. So I'm going to shield this one up, but they're going to outpace me because they were up a shield, right? I can throw a Meteor Mash here, but they're going to get to their next Ice Punch and knock me out before I get to another move. So I go for a swap here, and they're able to Ice Punch and counter me down before I get to an Ice Punch there, and then Ice Punch me before I get to a Meteor Mash. So I may have played that poorly in the end, but was just in a kind of tough position being down a shield. So now I'm in a spot where I got to win two in a row to try to take this thing. So I actually, even though my Charjabug just gets destroyed by their Carbink, right, it has play against the rest of their team. And so I actually bring the Charjabug in the back, hoping that I can get their Carbink out of the way. So it actually works. They bring in their Carbink against my Clefable, which Clefable has double super effective Meteor Mashes here. And so I'm going to go down shields to take this matchup, be able to flip alignment around, and got a lot of energy stored up. So in comes the Lantern. Moonblast's going to do like 50%. No, not quite. About 40%. A few Fairy Winds takes them into a yellow. And so I'm going to go for the next Moonblast. They shield that one up. And I bring in my Medi here, just knowing that my Charjabug is going to do well. And so I'm just going to bring in my Medi, try to get their Medi out of the way. Start throwing some Ice Punches or Dynamic Punches to get as much damage as I can off of this thing. So that my Charjabug can come in and between Volt Switches and X Scissors try to take the victory here. So they get off this Ice Punch. Now I'm going to bring in Charjabug. 2 Volt Switches will knock the thing out. They get off an Ice Punch, but that's okay. We can take that move. And here comes the Lantern. We live a Surf, and I get to an X Scissor, but it's not going to quite KO. And I'm not sure that I live another Surf, so I go for a catch just in case. Knocks out my Clefable, and now one more Volt Switch gives me the victory. GG, going into the last battle now. I decided to bring the same team again since Medi is so safe. And I was hoping that I scared off their Carbink with my Medi Clefable the last time. And so they came better prepped for Clefable this time, bringing in their Shadow A-Slash. But if I get a shield there, I'm happy to just take the shield advantage and let Clefable go down and get a full farm down with Medi on their A-Slash. And I have my Charjabug in the back. So again, I'm just hoping that my Medi Clefable scared their Carbink off and my Charjabug has play versus whatever they have in the back. So I take the Drill Run. Let's see what comes out. All right, so their Medicham comes back in, and I swap to Charjabug. They swap to Lickitung. So with the shield advantage, Charjabug is able to do well here, but it is still going to be really close. So I'm just thankful that it's not the Carbink, right? Thankful that the plan worked, and I just start going X Scissor, right, and seeing if I can knock this thing out. I do want to save one shield for the Medicham if possible, but this X Scissor is not going to be enough to knock out, so I'm going to have to swap to my Medi and go for a Snipe right before they get to a Body Slam. And now their Medi comes back in. They're full health here, right? Full health Medi. I don't have a Psychic. All I can do is throw some Ice Punches, and I don't even get to 3. I'm only going to make it to 2 Ice Punches, and then they're going to knock me out. And so, thankfully, I was able to make it to this X Scissor and CMP tie them. They had the second Ice Punch there, but Charjabug wins CMP by a couple points. So GG's, that was very challenging last round, right? The first 2 rounds were some people who were new to PvP. The third round was a little tougher, a little bit more meta team. Final round playing against someone who was running straight meta and a very talented battler, and it was close games. And so thankful to be able to come out on top and get the sweep of the tournament, get first place, another 15 points toward a Worlds invite. I don't know if I'm really going to keep pushing for that. I have to do a lot of these local events, and I can really only make it to 1 regional, potentially international championship. So I don't know if I'll actually get there to the 500 points, but I'm enjoying doing these local events. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the battles. The team was fun. No Flyer, no Steel type, no Grass type, and just kind of banking on Charjabug and Clefable being core breakers. So yeah, very fun. And let me know what you think in the comments. If you want to see more of this kind of content, I'd love to start sharing these kind of battles and learning better ways to do this. So always open to constructive criticism as well if you have ideas for the channel. But y'all be blessed. Have a great day.